take on Central York Panthers here in Aurora. Another big battle in the standings. Mississauga currently sitting in third place with 69 points. And Central York Panthers are right behind them with 67 points. Panthers won the first game back in Mississauga earlier in the year. 4-2 score. Mississauga will be looking to get back today and even up the series. midweek game. Mississauga getting their gloves and helmets on, and we'll get ready to go. Claire Hicks will get the start for Central York in net, 65 record. 878 save percentage with a 3.86 goals against average. Kalia Pharand will play net for your Mississauga Jr Hurricanes. Kalia's got a 9-6 record, 930 save percentage, and a 1.83 goals against with 3 shutouts. Now here we go. Puck gets dumped down. Pharand comes out and plays it up the boards. Van Berkel will pick it up off the wall. Tries to get towards the net. She'll get it back to the point. Dumped back into the corner. Pharand lost her stick. She's without one. MacDonald will pick it up. She'll go around the boards. Makokis tries to chip that out, but Langis finally gets it out into the end. Pharand goes to get her stick. Mississauga still playing without Kika Ho. He's off in Italy. Play comes out to the middle. Coulier across the line. Tries to make a move towards the middle and lose the handle on that puck. Comes up the other way quickly. Phasma cuts that off, and Owen comes back, runs into somebody. The puck comes right to bed, comes to him in, and move. Can't get it to the net. Dumped out in front. Goes just wide. Shot out the other side. Puck in the corner. Phasma along the wall. There with Pharand fighting through. Chipped up to McCoulier, who bounces off her stick. To the middle. Shot. That goes wide of the net. Phasma will pick it up in the corner, and Pharand. Dunn will try and rim it out, but kept in at the point. Phasma. Blocked by Owen and going towards the net. She falls. Up the boards. Puck's on the side. Dump back into the corner. Owen into the corner. Trying to poke that puck away. Martel puts that back in the corner. Phasma finally up the wall. That'll get out into the neutral zone. Mississauga will get a change in. Puck got something in. Makokis along the wall. Central York controlling the play so far. And Mississauga will get that outside the blue line. And Makokis will chip that out, but it's turned right back in. Paisley on the boards. Gloyns pushing her off the puck and chips up the boards, but kept in. Far side. Staley will try and chip it out. Hits the ref and doesn't get out of the zone. Lazaro will put that back in there. On the other side, Peddle will pick it up. Moves it far side and hits Staley. That bounces off her stick and it heads back the other way. And it's shipped back into the corner. Phasma will pick that up. Come around behind the net. She'll skate it right up the middle. Goes wide to Peddle. Peddle drags. Tries to put the puck towards the net. It's deflected wide. Fabro walks out. Loses the handle. And Central York will get it going back the other way. Van Berkel carry through the middle. Loses the handle on it. Fabro will pick it up. Look at it catch the line. It's up to the far side. MacDonald just gets out of her reach. And Cote will pick it up. Chip it up the boards. That'll get out. Passed up. Turning back up the wall while the rest of the Panthers are changing. Owen will dump that up the boards and out into the neutral zone. Picked up by Soja. The red line across the blue. It gets the first shot for Mississauga. Pass back to the point. Cut off by Aquino. Shot. And Hicks will hold on to that for a faceoff. So Aquino picks off a pass coming out of the zone. Has a good chance. Pass goes up along the boards. Kept in the point by Owen. Goes towards the front of the net. Owen moves back. Johnson can't pick it up, and Lucas will try to dump it in. Langis will pick it up. Moves it up to Makokis, who chips it up to Aquino. Aquino spins. Tries to put that back in the corner. It'll come right back to her. She'll dump it to the far side. And the Panthers will dump it down. Martone puts herself offside in the zone. The puck falls in, and it'll be a face-off. Up along the boards. MacDonald will chip that up. Tries to get around Panther D and is set up at the dot. But Zun's in there to help out. Battling in the corner. That comes to the point, kept in by MacDonald. Second attempt, and Lazarus will get that out into the middle. Perica will dump it back in. And quickly just dumped out by LeCoulier. That'll go all the way down, and Mazi will chase it down. Along the boards, kept in by Peddle. Peddle kept towards the net. Met by Cote, and she's got to turn back. Supported by Owen. And Van Berkel headed. And Owen's going to get a penalty on the play. It'll be 2 minutes for interference at 14:26. Face off, won by Mississauga, but controlled by the Panthers. Cote walks off the wall, gets a puck towards the net. Ferrand has it bounce off her chest, and rebound goes to the middle. Cleared, but not out. Up the boards. Soldier will chip that out. Go ahead for a change. Panthers start from their own end. Puck goes off the skate, goes to Gloyns, and Gloyns will get some time to shoot that the length of the ice. And the Panthers, Cote starts back, cuts towards the middle, goes far side. Paisley along the wall, throws it to the middle of the ice, goes all the way through the slot. Puck comes back to the point. Cross to Mature, shot, blocked, rebound to the side, and they can't get a handle on it, and Staley will chip that out. .45 seconds left to go on the Mississauga penalty. MacDonald in her own end. She'll fire that around the boards. Held on the side and kept in. Scramble won by Mississauga, and Staley will spin and fire that out. Lazarus in the neutral zone there. Bumped by Fabro. And Asma spin that back in their own end. 6 seconds left to go in the Mississauga minor. Shot up the boards by Makokis, but kept in to the middle. Lazarus shot and scores just as the penalty is expiring. Mississauga, or Central York takes an early 1-0 lead. 12:22. Mississauga controls on the face-off. Owen up to Zun. Zun across, takes a shot. That's blocked and goes into the corner. And around the far side, Van Berkel tries to go far side with it. Turned back by Gloyns. And dumped in by Pharand. The Panthers go up the boards. And that'll dump it in the corner. Gloyns on the far side, helped by Pharand. Move behind the net to Owen. Owen quickly up to Aquino, but that misses her stick, and that's going to go the length of the ice, and that'll be icing. So Lazaru, the goal scorer, her 13th of the year, put Central York up 1-0. Face off one. Gloyns goes hard off the net, but it hits the stanchion, stays on the net. Picked off by Pharand and moved to Aquino. Can't handle the pass along the boards. Pharand will throw it to the other side. Cote will keep that in. Owen's there to pick it up. She'll chip it out. She'll stay with it. A 2-on-2. Owen backhands it back towards the net. Aquino can't get to it. Langis circles in the middle, has some speed, goes through, gets through one, but can't get to the next. And Makokis will just dump that puck back down. Mississauga will finish their change. Johnson with some speed, comes up the far wall. She'll dump that in. MacDonald gets there first, but it's kept in at the point by Deckert. Kruzich can't handle that pass coming across. It bounces off her stick. Puts it back behind the net for MacDonald. MacDonald chips up the boards, cut off along the wall. And MacDonald will pick it back up again. She'll skate it. Gets the red line and dumps it down. Heads for a change. Dump behind the net. Shot by Kruzich is on. And it's deflected into the corner. Owen will keep it in at the point. Can't get a hold of it. She'll pass that across to Cosma. Fabro on the back check. It's a good job, and Owen starts up the ice. Fabro will pick it up in the neutral zone, cut across the middle, leaves it for Soja. Soja towards the net. Shot. And Hicks takes a peek behind her, but she holds on. Owen across the Cosma, shot off the stick and into the corner. Peddle tries to move that puck across. That hits somebody, and Cote will get that out. Quickly push up the middle. Cosma back on the puck. She'll spin it back the other way. Past a couple of checks. Hits Staley on the far side. Staley centers. Mazi shot. And glove by Hicks. And she'll hold that for a face-off. Face off, won by Mazi. Shot dumped along the boards. Staley bring up the board. She cycles down to Peddle. Peddle centers. It's Mazi who can't get to the net. She'll bring it behind. Come around, stop up. Tries to make a pass in the neutral zone or into the middle of the ice. But set off some skates. Staley works off the boards, moves towards the middle. On her backhand. She has it poked off her stick, and that's going to come all the way down to the Mississauga end. Staley across to Gloyns. Gloyns just out of the reach of Peddle on the far side. And Van Berkel at the blue line will spin with it. Poked off her stick by Gloyns and dumped out into the neutral zone. Central York will dump that back in. Mazi, though, holding it up at the blue line. Cosma the other way. Goes far side for LeCoulier. LeCoulier shot off the side of the net. And puck moves back up the middle. 3-on-1 the other way. MacDonald getting back quickly. A nice glove save by Pharand. Controlled by the Panthers. They spin on the boards. Jovanovski. Puck flip to the center. Leculier will spin back. Moves that back to Pasma. Back to Leculier. Has some room in the middle. Tries to drop a pass, but unfortunately it doesn't go. And Owen's there to pick it up. She spins back towards the Owen. Hits Gloyns, and Gloyns flipped her up to Makokis. That pokes off her stick, but turned back the other way by Cote. Cote will go up the side. Bodies in the zone. So Owen will bring it back to Gloyns. Gloyns goes far side for Langis. That goes up over her stick. And they'll get dumped in by the Panthers. Pharand behind the net to play it to Gloyns. And Gloyns will move that up through the middle. Picked off. The Panthers will throw it back into the zone. Paisley looking for option shot. Pharand gloves that and hold on for a faceoff. 6:43 left to go in the first period. Mississauga trailing 1-0. Owen behind the net. Will start from the corner. Throws it across to Kruzich. Goes off her skate. Fabro on that puck. Tries to put it towards the net. Turns off instead, and Kruzich gets it. Tries to center, and the Panthers will pick that pass off. They'll move it up the boards. The Paisley will just dump that in and chase it down. Behind the net, Gloyns starts up to Kruzich. Kruzich, far side, hits Fabro, but bounces the wrong way. Backhand pass through the middle. And Soja will just retreat behind the net. Makokis behind her net, moves up the boards. Kruzich will flip that into the neutral zone. And the Panthers will send it right back in. Pharand stopping that behind the net. Makokis over to Gloyns. Gloyns up the boards. And it will get out in the middle. Soja cross to Kruzich. Kruzich cross the line and it'll dump it into the corner. MacDonald on the forecheck with Staley. Leaves it in the corner. Has the puck poked off her stick. Can't get anything towards the net. Peddle will pick it up. Moves it across. Just missing Mazi on the far side. Puck dumped back into the corner. And the Panthers will skate that out through the middle. We'll bring it back up the boards. Peddle there. Pasma will rim it around just out of the reach of MacDonald. He'll catch up to it, gets it to the line. Staley will help that get out. Does not get far enough. And the Panthers will bring it right back in. Shot. That goes just wide of the net. Johnson on that. Spins off the corner, tries to center a pass. Moves to the middle. Staley can't stick that out and it stays in the zone. And Mississauga back behind their own net. Mississauga spending a lot of this period on their heels here a bit. Having trouble connecting a couple passes. And to the line and not out again. Skated to the center. Pharand puts her glove up, makes a big stop. Can't glove it down, but it goes into the corner. Coulier backhands it up to the monk. It doesn't get past the blue line. Right back into the Mississauga end. Zun will turn with some speed. She has some room. Cross the line, cuts to the middle. Shot. That goes up and over the net. Dumped around the boards. Owen will pick it up off the boards. Throw a puck towards the net. That's just wide of the net. Gloyns keeps it on the other side. Down low to Zun. And good job of Farand keeping that puck in. And Zun walks up to the blue line. Sun's got some room. She steps in, shot. That goes just wide of the net. She's hit right after the shot. Gloyns turns it right back, dumps it in deep. Hicks stops that behind the net. Langis on the forecheck will pick that puck up, centering it. And a good stick by the Panther deflects the pass going right through the middle. And it'll come out of the zone. Gloyns quickly up to Aquino. Aquino can't bring it up to her stick quickly. And the Panthers will turn it back the other way. MacDonald puts that behind the net. Panthers waiting for it. Centers it, and Langis will pick that off, and Makokis will take it through the neutral zone. And MacDonald will skate offside as Makokis doesn't quite get across in time. 2:29 left to go in the first. Panthers lead 1-0. Face off, one to the boards. Kruzich cuts to the middle. Shot, and that goes off a couple of legs and goes into the corner. Cote in the corner, moves it up the boards. Makokis can't get there. And Kruzich, she'll walk across the line, has some room. Shot off the blocker and up and over the net. Far side. Soja battling along the boards with Pasma. Kruzich will pick that up, tries to center it. Gets towards the net. And Hicks will kick that out. Kruzich across to Owen. That's just behind her. And Owen will jump that into the corner. Fabro and Soja proves that to the point. Owen had moved in, so nobody there. Pasma spins at her own blue line. Has some room, skates in, shot. And floats one on the blocker, and that just goes into the corner. Centering pass off a couple sticks. That'll come outside the zone. Owen in the neutral zone will turn and fire it up the boards. Picked up by the Panthers. Turned back the other way. Into the zone. Shot just goes wide of the net. The Panthers dump it back into the far corner. Walking out. Raises goes to the far side. First shot's blocked. Second one blocked. That'll go up and out of play. Just under a minute to go here in the first period. Martone kicked out of the faceoff. Mazi wins it, but the Panthers will pick it up. They'll center it. Martone can't get a stick on in front, and that'll get cleared. Peddle along the boards. And turned back the other way by the Panthers. Across the line. Makokis into the corner, helped out by Mazi. Mazi back behind the net. Makokis will start up with it. Tries to move it across. That slides off her stick. Tripped up, trying to get back into the zone. Martone shot. Blocked by Gloyns. But back to the point. 20 seconds left to go on the clock. Mazi up to Peddle. Peddle trying to get that puck past a couple of checks. It's across the line. 10 seconds to go. Mazi trying to move that puck across. And the puck will get flipped out in the neutral zone. And with 2 seconds left, that'll do it for the first period. After one period of play, Mississauga 0, the Panthers 1. Mississauga out shooting Central York 10-5 in the period, but Central York with the lone goal. No power play chances for Mississauga in the period. And the Panthers did have one. Their goal scored just as the penalty was expiring. Mississauga, a tough period, getting the puck through traffic. And on the faceoff, won by the Panthers. Deckers puts it up the wall, and Van Berkel will backhand that in. Shot up by Pasma. That goes by everybody. Makokis will beat out that. She cycles down to Langis. Langis tries to center. That's blocked. Back behind the net, Aquino. Langis in the corner, centers. Makokis backhand to Pasma. Pasma throws one towards the net. That flips up. And Hicks will hang on to that. Face off. Kicked into the corner. Cote gets to it first, but Theron will push her off the puck. Back into the corner. Zahn battles. But turned back the other way. Dumped down. That's going to go past everybody. Waved off. Not sure why they waved that off, but Owen in the corner puts up the board. Zahn backhands that out. That's going to go down the ice, and that'll be icing on Mississauga. $18:56 to go here in the second period. Gloyns fires it. Hits a player on the way out, but Laculier gets it wide. Goes to the net. Fires a puck high and wide. That goes around the glass and out in the zone. That puck doesn't quite make it out. Stuck in the linesman's skates. Poked up. Staley will pick it up. He'll go across the line. Cuts towards the net. Shot. That goes just wide. Picks it back up in the corner. Peddle along the wall. Skates towards the middle. Cuts in. Runs into some traffic and has to chip that into the corner. Staley to the far side. MacDonald fires it right into Hicks, and she'll hang on for a face-off. So a nice pass from behind. MacDonald jumps on that puck, and Hicks doesn't give any room. It just stands right. Mazi wins the draw. Peddle drops for MacDonald. MacDonald take a shot. That's blocked. Goes to the side of the net. Mazi tries to come around the other side with it. Goes up the boards. Van Berkel can't keep a handle on that. That's helped out by our Panthers run. Shot deflected up and over top of the net. That goes up to the front. And Pharand quickly jumps on that. Face off one to the corner. Owen dumps to the far side. Kruzich there. Will chip that out. And Fabro will come up with it. Got a breakaway across the line. Makes a move. Goes to the side and can't poke it home. She stays with it. Up along the boards, but that'll get out. Owen spins off of Van Berkel, but Van Berkel, And Owen's going to get another penalty. Tripping will be the call. That one a little weak. Langis. Scramble face-off, picked up by Aquino. Aquino will skate it out. Cross the line, that's some room. She'll get a shot. That'll go off a Panther player and up and out of play. Face-off, one in the corner. Panthers fire around to the far side, and Pack will pick it up on the other side. Pack into the corner with it, and the Panthers will move it out. Shot, blocked, and the rebound covered up by Pharand. Puck dumped in behind the net. The Panthers will start off behind their own net. 1:15 left to go in the Panther power play. Makokis picks that up in the neutral zone. She'll spin in. She'll go for a bit of a skate. Gets to the net. Backhand shot. And Hicks has to come up with a big save. Cody across the line, waiting for some Panther changes. Shot. Rebound. Stopped. Two big stops by Pharand. Mazi will pick it up behind the net. And she'll skate it out through the middle. Across the line, shot. And that'll go right into the middle of Hicks, and she'll hang on. So Mississauga with a couple of big chances in the period so far. A breakaway, a couple direct lines to the net. Haven't been able to solve Hicks. The latest coming shorthanded. Lazarou will start up for, goes to the corner. 30 seconds left to go in the Mississauga minor. To the point, dump back in the corner. Picked up by the Panthers, up the wall. Johnson far side. And Panthers will bring it up to the top. Clark down to Johnson. Johnson can't get a handle, get a shot away. Back up to Clark. Clark comes across, picked off by Gloyns. And 5 seconds left to go. She'll get the red line, dump it deep. Hicks will stop that behind the net. Mazi on the forecheck. She'll come up with it. She's cross-checked off the puck. And the Panthers will pick it up. They'll try and move it up the board. Zun's there to keep it in. Zun heads to the net. I can't pass across. Doesn't get to LeCoulier. And that puck's cleared. And that puck deflected on the wrong side of center, and that'll be icing. So a tired Panther crew in the second period are sucked down in their end. 14:53 left to go in the second period. Face-off won by Mississauga. Zun spins on the wall, moves to the middle. McCoulier shot. That's off of Hicks' stick and into the corner. Up the wall, Panthers try to dump it out. Held in by MacDonald. Kick back in. Kruzich will pick it up on the far side. She'll center a puck, but there's nobody there. The Panthers will pick it up, and they'll dump it again. That'll go by everybody, and that'll be icing. So a very tired Panther line. Skating back, hands on the knees. See if Mississauga can capitalize. Face off. Right to the net. Fabro with a shot. Gets to the point. Pasma can't keep it in, but it's dumped right back in. One Panther does get off in a change. Soja behind the net. Tries to center. Fabro's knocked off the puck. Soja will pick up that rebound. Kruzich will help out. Kruzich turns. Moves it far side. Pasma off the wall. Down from the point. We'll move it across to Owen. Owen shot. And that goes right in the middle of Hicks, and she'll hold on to the faceoff. Panthers will get a much needed line change. Face off. One shot is up on Hicks's shoulder. Rebound is cleared by the Panthers. They'll get across the line. Kruzich on that forecheck. Dumps it into the corner. Puck goes behind the net. Soja and Owen. Owen moves it up the boards. Kruzich is there to tip it out. And Kruzich will take off. 2-on-1 shaping up. She takes a shot. Nice blocker save by Hicks. That goes into the corner. Rebound goes to the net. And Owen, a nice tip. And scores. Make it 1-1. So Owen's fifth of the game, or fifth of the year, will tie it up for Mississauga. We're 1-1 now with 13-15 left to go in the second period. Mississauga starting to tilt things the other way. Puck up all along the boards. Fired far side. Van Berkel across the line. Pulls it, takes a shot, and it goes up and over the net. Aquino along the boards. Shot by Langis. Puck in the corner. Van Berkel will pick it up from behind the net. The Panthers move it up the far wall. That goes off a stick. MacDonald chips it back the other way. And Aquino will chase that down. Cote spins off a check for the Panthers. Tries to center. Two Panthers in behind MacDonald, but she cuts that off. Tries to break to the net. And that puck gets back the other way. Pasma, good job. The stick check. And Mississauga gets back on the back check. Pasma, far side for MacDonald. MacDonald will try to chip that up the boards. Clark will pick that off and just dump it right back into the zone. A funny bouncing puck and a delayed offside. Pasma fires one in the back of the net, gets her own, pops out to Mazi. Mazi cuts to the net, backhander, goes up and over the net. She gets her own rebound, puts it to the corner, and Staley spinning in the corner, knocked off the puck by Clark. Clark flips it up the boards, and the Panthers will get that out into the middle. Lazarou can't handle that pass, and Owen come back, spin off Lazarou. Moves it quickly up to Staley. Staley with some speed up the wing. Staley drops for Mazi. That goes through all the way to Peddle. Peddle. Owen trips it down into the corner. She'll stay on the forecheck. The puck gets dumped around the far side. Farand can't get there in time, but LeCoulier tries to punch it back, and it's dumped in. Right on for Hahn. She'll stop it and put it to the side. And Gloyns will start up the wall. Puck hops off of Kruzich's or LeCoulier's stick. Puck fired just wide of the net. Van Berkel will come off the board. She'll take a shot, and that's gloved by Farhan. But she'll hang on for a face-off. Owen fires it around. Zun's there to lift the stick and make sure that it gets out. And LeCoulier will chase it down. Johnson quickly up. And with some speed into the zone. Owen, good stick check. And that puck's quickly dumped out. LeCoulier stops up at the blue line, chips one down. Can't get that to Farand. And the puck will get out. Makokis quickly up the boards. That hits a glove on the bench. That'll be a whistle and a face-off to the right of Farhan. Puck gets to the point. Chip back in by the Panthers. MacDonald will pick it up behind the net. She'll flip up the boards. Fabro centers. Hits Kruzich. And she'll get across the line. Pope checked off it. She'll chase it down into the corner. And that puck will come out. Chipped out to the far side. Panthers will get across the red line. And dump it in. MacDonald reverses. Makokis to Kruzich. Kruzich flips that into center. And that gets past everybody. Fabro on the forecheck. Dumps Clark in the corner. And Clark will jump on top of her. No call on the play. Still digging at the skates. Fabro having a tough time getting up. Controlling that puck. Moving it back and forth. Sojay to help out. And chipped up the boards. Gets to the point. Pasma. Cross to Owen. Owen. Shot. And that'll stick to Hicks. Langis on the face-off. Chip to the point. Owen will grab it. Owen will throw towards the net. Rebound sits right there. Langis takes the one shot at it. It's still there. Hand on it. Comes to Makokis. Makokis pokes one through. And a couple of glorious chances for Mississauga. Puck gets to the point, not out. Langis will put that back in the corner. Makokis first on it. Aquino will help out. Makokis just trying to poke that through the other side. And she'll try and center it. Cut off. Pass along the boards. It comes out to the center. And Owen will just flip that back in. And fortunately, that just comes outside the zone. Aquino tries to go in, and Mississauga's offside. Well, definitely a better look for Mississauga here in the second period. Some connecting passes. Face off. One dumped in by Makokis. Comes right back out. Mississauga clears, and they're back on the forecheck. The Panthers reverse the other side. They'll go up the middle. Cross the line, and they'll dump it in. Gloyns trying to get to the corner. LeCoulier helping out. Mazi in the corner now with Gloyns. And that puck will get out to Staley. Staley will cut it across and move it to Peddle. Peddle looks to give it back. Staley shot off the stick and up and over the net. That'll go out of play. And Mississauga will be kicked out of that face-off. Staley will take it. She'll win it back. Peddle can't come up with it, and it's a 2-on-1 the other way. Martone holds, shoots. Pharand, big stop. And Mississauga turns it back the other way. Mazi behind the D, gets out in the side, goes hard to the net, and is tripped up trying to go through. Cosmo will hold that in, gets out. And again, 3-on-1 back the other way. MacDonald in the middle, Martone back, shot. And Farhan's got a hold of it. So some crazy action both ways. Farhan, a couple big stops. Once on the 2-on-1 and again on the 3-on-1. They had a little give and go, had to come up big and stand tall. Puck flipped out. And Zahn will chip that to the line. Puck thrown to the far side. Owen will step up. Throws it right back out of the zone. Flipped in. Panthers will have to tag up. Owen quickly to Gloyns. She gets past a couple and she'll get into the zone. Tries to center. to Pharand. Pharand can't get anything on that shot. Owen will pick up at the point. Drags it to the far side. Pharand shot. Rebound. And LeCoulier can't get a stick on it. She recovers it in the corner. Tries to poke it up the wall. Puck goes in the middle. LeCoulier picks it up. Comes across. Can't pull that puck across. And it's knocked off her stick. Turned back the other way by the Panthers. Owen tries to throw a backhand pass across. Doesn't get there. And Kruzich will save that. Puck behind the net. Owen again with it. Moves it to Pharand. Pharand behind the net. Tries to go to Kruzich with it. That gets deflected up on the glass. The Panthers will turn it back. Fabro finds some room. She'll skate it through the neutral zone. Cross the line. Shot towards the net. That goes wide. And the Panthers are quickly the other way. Puck chipped up. Mississauga across the line. Across to MacDonald. MacDonald can't get a handle on that. Cote with it. Doesn't get out. Fabro keeps it in. Gloves up in her face twice. Mississauga not getting any calls their way. MacDonald now from behind her net. Moves it around the boards. Fabro. Weird bounce off the boards, but she'll pick it up. Move it up to Aquino. Aquino's got some room. Down the wing. Shot. And a nice blocker save by Hicks. Lazarou trying to put the puck in. A good back check by Makokis. And a move. Lazarou trying to get to the net. Pulled off, and MacDonald will just get that out. She's looking to get off the ice for a change. Owen jumps on the ice. Makokis on the forecheck. Langis will pick off a pass. Teammates will clear. She'll head hard to the net. Tripped up going towards the net. No call. Puck comes out to the point. Makokis' shot. That's blocked. Makokis around the side. Owen on the back check. Dropped. Van Berkel to the net. A nice blocker save by Farhan. And Aquino will head out of the zone. Pasma will fire that puck in. Hicks behind the net. Good back check. Puck center. Nobody there. Langis, a good job trying to get that puck out, but her line was changing and there's only Panthers in front of the net. Langis spins it back to the point. Makokis skates to the other side. Moves it to Gloyns. Gloyns will flip that down in the corner. Peddle back to the point. That's picked out by Martone. Martone will skate it out for the Panthers. Stopped by Gloyns. Johnson will come to the far side. Moves it to Martone. And a good stick by Makokis hits Mazi on the far side. Mazi tries to center. And we're going to call that a high stick on Mazi as the puck came up and she smacked that down. So Darcy Brecky talking to the ref, trying to get an explanation on the clear trip on Langis. Obviously, if they're going to call it a particular way, Mississauga already called it a couple of soft penalties the one way. Definitely a scoring chance taken away by Langis. So at the very least, maybe it'll get some goodwill and potentially a next call. Face off won by Mississauga over to Gloyns. Gloyns will dump that in just past Staley's stick. Mazi on the forecheck behind the net. Puck dumped up the boards. Try to center it. It'll get outside the zone. Peddle will dump that to the middle. Quickly up to Mazi. Mazi some room. Takes it out wide. Puts it towards the middle. And can't connect with Peddle. Van Berkel will start behind her own net. She'll skate up through the middle. Cuts back and forth to the middle. Shot. And that's deflecting. Goes into the corner. Centering pass. That goes through everybody. The Panthers will dump it back into the corner. 2:50 left to go here in the second period. All tied up at 1. Behind the net, centered. Rebound, backhand shot. And Pharand will save that and cover up. Face off one of the boards. The Panthers try to walk off the wall with it, but are stopped. They get to the point, but not out. Theron reverses it back behind the net. Pasma comes through the middle. Sees Zahn on the far side. Zahn's got lots of room. 3-on-2 going the other way. Zahn drops for LeCoulier. LeCoulier centers. And nobody from Mississauga there to pick up that pass. Theron in the neutral zone. Drop, gets it right back. Zahn and Pasma will take that out to the neutral zone. She'll spin, dump it in. That gets the wall. Far side, LeCoulier with a good stick. She'll pick that up off the wall. And she'll skate that up, dump that back down in the corner. Soja into the middle. Owen there, shot. The blocker save goes straight up, and Hicks will put a glove on that. So Owen sneaking down in the slot, and a nice pass by Soja. .145 left to go in the second period. Face off, one by Mississauga, goes the far side to Owen. Owen throws a puck towards the net, rebound. Goes just wide. Missing Kruzich on the far side. Soja, Kruzich working the corner. The Panthers will pick that off, and they'll move it up the middle. Van Berkel will dump that in for the Panthers. Lazarus will pick it up on the far side. Try to move it to the net. Owen will poke that back into the corner. Panthers work up the wall. They turn it back in the corner. Lazarus got some time. Moves it far side, but can't hit Van Berkel. He was wide open. Good stick lift. Puck centered. Goes all the way through. Gloyns will turn that back. Throws up the wall. Fabro will lift the stick and just let that go into the neutral zone. Johnson with it. Goes far side. Too many on the ice. They're not going to call that. Owen behind the net. Moves it over to Gloyns. Gloyns tries to chip that up, but it's picked off by the Panthers. Stays on the wall. Moves to the center, and the Panthers will get it right back and fire it in. Gloyns on the far side. Throws up the boards. Nobody there but Panthers. Martone will get it back through her skates. Langis coming off the bench. Has some speed. She skates through the zone. Right near the middle of the ice. Goes wide. Tries to center it. And as that puck poked off her stick, Panthers throw it back the other way. And behind the play, Makokis is going to get 2 minutes for body checking. And the Panthers are going to get their third power play of the game. So with 11 seconds to go in the period, Mississauga will have to kill this off, and they'll start the third shorthanded. Puck gets to the front. A good stick by Makokis. And dumped out by MacDonald. And that should do it for the second period. Mississauga, the lone goal scoring in that period. And the game's all tied at 1. Welcome back to the third period. Mississauga will start the period shorthanded. Minute 49 still left to go. And the Makokis checking penalty. So Mississauga having to kill off their third penalty of the game. Mississauga yet to get their own power play. Puck across the line. Dropped. Aquino almost gets a stick on that. And Gloyns will get that in the corner and she'll fire it out. Panthers start behind their own net. Chased by Mazi. Up the boards. Mazi causing trouble, and Panthers will have to circle back again. And the Panthers will drop it a third time. Having trouble getting started out of the zone. Johnson quickly up. And finally, a penalty coming the other way. Not an overly strong penalty, but Mississauga will take it. And number 77, 2 minutes, I believe, is an interference call. So 19-10, 4-4 for almost a full minute. Kruzich out of the corner, circles around, up at the top, throws a puck towards the net. MacDonald tries to pick it up. That'll be a body checking penalty. Puck dumped down. That'll go for icing. So 40 seconds to go on the 4-on-4, and then Mississauga will get just over a minute of power play time. Face off one. Staley with it in the corner, circles, can't get the puck towards the net, and the Panthers will strip the puck and move it up the boards. They fire a puck up the middle. That's going to go the length of the ice. MacDonald chasing it back for icing. .21 seconds left to go, and the Mississauga penalty. Face off one cleanly by Fabro, but Owen is closer to the boards. That'll get back into the Mississauga end. She'll cycle it up to Gloyns. Gloyns picking it up, has some room. She's going to skate it all the way down. 5 seconds. Puck rimmed around. Staley will pick it up along the boards, and Makokis is out of the box, and Mississauga will have a minute of power play time. Fabro to Makokis. Makokis behind the net. Goes around the far side. Down low. Staley back to Makokis, and that goes through her stick and goes all the way down. Gloyns will pick that up. 35 seconds to go. The Mississauga power play. Langis up the far wall. Brings it across in the middle. Nobody there. We're all the way around. Takes a shot. It's blocked by Cote. Rebound over to Aquino. Aquino to the middle. Out of the reach of Owen. And the Panthers will get that out of the zone. Gloyns up to Owen. That gets past there and gets dumped back into the zone. 2 seconds to go and power play's over. We're all even. Aquino off the wall. Drops for Gloyns. Gloyns far side. Pasma To the middle. Makokis goes off her stick. To the middle. In front. Shot saved by Pharand. And the dangerous pass up the middle, not handled by Makokis. Panthers jump on it quickly. And they get another breakaway down, and Pharand makes another huge stop. Puck one to the boards. MacDonald fires around the far side. Zun along the boards will try and chip it out, but waits a little too long. The Panthers will flip it back in. Pharand behind the net. Stops up. Versus back the other way. LeCoulier can't keep a stick on that. She moves it out. Phasma spins a check out. And a couple calls probably in Mississauga's favor now. Zun through the zone. Drops for Phasma. Phasma will pick it up around Lazarou. Into the corner on her backhand behind the net. Coming all the way around. Centers. Pharand trying to backhand a puck towards the net. She's knocked down. The puck goes back the other way. Lazarou pokes the puck into the corner. Makokis. Good job of blocking that. It's knocked down in the corner. Phasma in to help out. Throws it to the other side. Mazi pokes that puck up to Zun. Zun throws it far side to LeCoulier. LeCoulier will just flip it into the zone. She'll head off in a change. Far side, Gloyns picks it up. Chips it by one defender, but picked up and taken the other way by the Panthers. Stop behind the net by Pharand. Makokis up the far wall. Misses Gloyns. Comes up, and the Panthers keep it into the corner. Gloyns, a good job staying with her check. Back in the corner again. Mazi helping out. Kick to the far side. Peddle. And the ref gets in the way. Have to go back the other way. Makokis up the boards. Peddle has the puck across the line. Has some room. Takes a shot. Blocker save. Rebound sits out front. And towards the net. And Martone's stick. And leg stomp with a second opportunity from going into the net. Back into the zone. Offside. Owen, far side. Up the boards. Peddle will tip that in. Up the boards. Fired far side. Owen will pick it up on the wall. Moves that back to Phasma. Phasma will spin behind the net. Will skate across the middle. Hits Fabro across the middle. Fabro will move. Can't get it to the net. She'll go into the corner with it checked. Kruzich is there. Centered. Fabro spins, puts it back to the front of the net. Soja can't get to it. And it's poked up the middle. Out into the neutral zone. Owen will pick it up and she'll fire it back down. Hits a check on the way in. Kruzich holds up. Goes wide for Soja. Drop back down. Owen. Centering pass. Fabro can't come up with it. Kruzich bring that back out. Makokis spins in the neutral zone. Has some room. She's going to skate down the middle. Comes out wide. Gets to the net. And can't quite get a shot away. Panthers try to turn it back the other way. Waiting for it in the middle of the ice. And it's turned right back. Makokis to Makokis and back. A shot by Sophia. And that'll stick to the Panther goalie. But penalty behind the play. Panthers going to the box. And it'll be the captain. 22. Out of the box for holding. So Mississauga with their full 2-minute power play chance. See what they can do. Puck flipped up to Langis. Langis tries to go far side. Makokis in the middle with it. Goes to MacDonald. MacDonald shot. Scores! And MacDonald puts Mississauga in the lead with a power play goal. MacDonald, a power play goal, her 7th goal of the season, puts Mississauga on top. The Panthers come back the other way. Centering pass attempt, tipped up. Makokis will pick it up. Mississauga breaking away, may have a 4-on-2 going the other way. Dropped. Aquino kicks to the far side behind the net, and the Panthers will retrieve that and spin it back the other way. Cody crossed the line. Owen, good job of stopping her from getting to the net. Langis will pick up the rebound. Owen in the corner, throws it up to Zun. Picked off by a Panther player, and Zun gets that and keeps it into the zone. The Panthers cycling their own end. They move it far side. Van Berkel on the forecheck. And Pasma drops for Owen. Owen chips up to Zun. Zun back up the boards, not far enough. Goes back into the corner. Centered. And a nice save. 2 saves by Farhan. The puck clear across the front of the net. Back to the point. Another shot. And it goes in. Top corner. The Panthers tie it up. Clark will score her 3rd of the year to tie this game up. Mississauga back the other way. And that puck will get chipped in. No icing. MacDonald right through the middle. Goes wide. Has the puck chipped off her stick. And another penalty. Coming to the Panthers. And it'll be a tripping call. So 77 headed back to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. So Mississauga already with a power play goal. We'll go right back to the power play. Panthers looking for a couple of questions on the call there. MacDonald will come in to hear what the chat's all about. But she's a little late to the conversation, and face off to the left of Hicks. Face off won by Mazi to the wall. They'll bring that up to the point. Makokis will skate it to the middle. Cross to MacDonald. MacDonald will go down deep. She'll spin back. Move that back to the point. Makokis shot. Goes just wide of the net. Peddle out to MacDonald. MacDonald to the middle. Makokis far side to Staley. Staley will try to center. That attempt is blocked. Behind the net, back into the corner. Staley moves to the middle of the ice. Far side, MacDonald shot. And Hicks will hold that one. .125 left to go in the Mississauga power play. 2-2 score. Both teams trading goals here in the 3rd period. Face off 1 to Owen. Owen flips the pass across to Aquino. Aquino walks down the wall. Turns it back up to Owen. Owen. Far side. Gloyns. Far side to Aquino. Aquino. A little behind it. Owen to the middle shot. Walker save. Rebound goes right to Aquino and she scores on the power play. Mississauga's back on top. So Aquino, her 11th of the year, and the second power play goal of the period for Mississauga. They're back on top, 3-2. Aquino back to Owen across to Gloyns. Gloyns across the line. She'll dump that puck in. Far side. Aquino will meet it on the far side. She'll come off the wall with it to the middle. Shot to Makokis. Makokis shot off the blocker of Hicks. And that's up and out of play. So official scoring on it. Had Gloyns and I think Makokis. Owen with a shot may end up with an assist on that play. Nonetheless, Mississauga up 3-2 now. Turn back the other way. MacDonald reverses it back to Pasma. Pasma spins off a check, chips it up to Kruzich. Kruzich, far side. A breaking Fabro. So that's going to get just out of everyone's reach, and that'll go for icing. 9:47. Puck shot up along the boards. Fabro will get that out. Van Berkel will chip it back in. Pass across to Pasma. Pasma loses the handle on it. Gets it across to MacDonald. MacDonald up the boards, and that's up and out of the zone. And the Panthers will dump it right back in. Farhan will stop it behind the net for Pasma. Pasma up to Zun. Zun will chip that out. And finally, Mississauga will get the red line. Puck goes across to LeCoulier. LeCoulier shot. Blocked by Tip Cody. The Panthers come through the middle. Lazarou trying to make a move around Makokis, and she does a good job of staying with her check. Picked up by Pasma. Far side for Zun. Zun will get the red line and dump it in deep. Johnson from behind her own net. Comes around the boards, chips it up. Martone tries to keep it going. Center back for Johnson with some speed coming across. Can't get the shot away, and Peddle will come back the other way. She puts it up the middle. Through everybody. Up the boards. Makokis will pinch down to keep that in. Puck will go to the front of the net. Goes all the way across. Martone. Flip up the boards. Livingston can't get a hold of that, and Makokis will just dump it right back down. Staley chases it down. Turn back the other way. Makokis again, firing that back down. The Panthers now pinned down in their end and can't find a way out. Mazi will pick it up on the net, takes a shot, rebound sits right there, and they can't get another swing at it. Puck gets shot, misses wide, and that'll get out of the zone. Centered towards the net. Good poke check by Makokis, and with the back check, they're able to turn it out of harm's way. Makokis far side, Gloyns flips it up the boards. Makokis tries to tip it to the middle, picked off, and Gloyns picks the centering chance off. He moves it to the middle. Makokis tries to chip it up. Deckerts gets her up to the wing. Van Berkel shot, and Farhan has to block her that down. Can't get a glove on it. The play continues. Behind the net, Owen will skate up with it. Tries to backhand a pass across. Picked off. Shot towards the net. Goes just wide. And Langis tries to move that up the board. She's checked hard. Shot. Blockered into the corner. Aquino can't get that out along the boards. Owen's there to help out. They fire it up, and that'll get outside the zone. Cody can't handle it. She takes it all the way back in. All her outlets taken away, and they'll get picked up. Going the other way, 2-on-1. Makokis and Langis. Makokis with it. Shot up off the crossbar. Puck dumped down the other side. Phasma there on her check. Stumped in the corner. MacDonald on the far side. She'll put it back behind the net. Phasma up the wall. Chipped out. It gets out of the zone. Kruzich can't keep stick on it. Van Berkel fights it back the other way. It gets around one check. Shot. And a good stick. It goes up and out of play. 6:04. Face off to the right of Pharand. Pharand hasn't been the busier of the two goalies, but she's definitely had to make some of the tougher stops. Face off. One controlled and dumped out of the zone by Mississauga. Put back the other way. Fabro gets a stick on it, but can't stop it from going in. Makokis behind her own net, spins off the check. Goes D to Gloyns. Gloyns got some room. She'll skate it out. She'll move to the far side. Kruzich with it. She'll dump it in deep. Up the far side in the middle. Owen, stick on that. She fires it right back out again. Not far enough for icing. The Panthers spin. Puck goes in the middle of the ice. Laculier chips the puck towards the net. Just wide. So a nice bounce off of that clearing attempt. Johnson across the red. She'll just dump it in. Pharand stopped up behind the net. Phasma spins off the check. Martone on the forecheck. And Langis. No, Soja, sorry, is going to get a penalty. So with 5:03 left to go in the third period, Soja, 2 minutes for checking. And that'll be a timeout on the Panthers. 5:03 left in the period. They're down by 1 goal. It's been a very back and forth game. Not entirely clean on both sides. A bit sloppy at times. But definitely the tempo has picked up in the last 2 periods. Yeah. So both teams putting their plan together. An interesting game for penalties for sure. Mississauga with the first 3 penalties of the game. And Central York with the next 3 after that. And Mississauga now back in the penalty box. Definitely the benefactors are Mississauga. So far 2 for 3 on their power play chances. And the 1 power play chance was abbreviated. So Panthers kicked out of the face-off already, right off of it. Won by the Panthers to the point. They'll move it to the wall. Van Berkel. She'll skate down the lane. Shot. Rebound. Right there. And they make a quick goal. They score. And we're all tied up. So number 97 with her 6th goal of the year ties this up. Mississauga down the middle. There, and her shot goes just wide. Cote spins off a check. We've got Owen tries to pick that off. It jumps her stick, and that gets dumped into the zone. Pharand not taking any chances. She'll cover up. Face off. One to the point, dumped into the corner. To the line, not out. Chipped up to Aquino. The other way, Aquino was shot. Rebound sits right there. Langis tries to take it to the net. So back to the corner. Shot. Rebound sits right there. It's turned back and out of the zone. Makokis turns right back the other way. Through the middle. And drops a puck. Can't get it to Aquino. Goes up the boards. Aquino pushes it off the wall. Tries to get it down to Langis. She'll pick it up and fire a shot right into the glove of Hicks. She'll put it right back down. No whistle. Mississauga jumping out of the zone. Puck dumped down. And puck back to Langis. Langis will skate it out. Got some room. Through the neutral zone. Cross the line. Puts the puck behind the net. Through a breaking Gloyns. Tipped up the wall. Owen brings it along. Cups out to the middle. Behind the net. Tries to center in the middle. But misses Peddle. And that's going to go the length of the ice. Right down on Makokis. Or right down on Pharand. Dishes it off to Gloyns. Gloyns will skate up with it. Gives it outside to Peddle. Peddle back to the middle. Mazi. Backhand shot and scores. Mazi. So with 2:44 left on the clock, Mazi with her 6th goal of the year puts Mississauga back up in top, 4-3. The Panthers will dump it back down, 2:35 left to go. Pasma up the wall to Peddle. Peddle will flip it up the boards. Mazi get it across the red and dump it deep. Trying to hear the announcement on the official scoring there. I believe that Peddle and Gloyns should end up with assists on that one. Puck in the corner. Pasma, good job checking. She'll move it to MacDonald, who's got some time. She'll skate it up. Up the boards. Missing Staley, but Staley will beat out icing. Staley tries to center to Soja. Soja will pick it back down the corner. She'll just try and kill some time. Spins back into the corner. 2 Panthers. Kruzich there. Kruzich and Peddle just Soja just moving back and forth. Fabro now trying to look at another 15-20 seconds off the clock. 1:15 left to go. And Kruzich, Fabro spins right back into the corner. Fabro will skate at the other side. Panthers just trying to get that puck out of the scrum. And Kote knocks over Kruzich. No penalty on the call. Soja, good job in the neutral zone. Fabro will pick it up. Van Berkel will bring that back into her own zone. 45 seconds left to go. Makokis will just dump that right back in. On the forecheck, Makokis dumped down the wall. Livingston comes down, shot. Blocker save. Rebound goes back to the middle of the ice, but Aquino will pick it up. Net empty now. 25 seconds left to go. Puck to the middle. And Makokis hooked off that, no call. 15 seconds. Puck flipped up. Makokis there, takes a shot. Glove saved by Martone. Turning it back the other way. 5 seconds. Gloyns in her own end. She'll take that back behind her own net for safety. keep along the boards, and that'll do it. Mississauga will win this one 4-3. And they'll celebrate the victory on the road. Probably not one of their best performances, but they'll definitely take the win over a tough Central York Panthers team. Final score, 4-3 Mississauga.